Alright, back with another shiny hunting stream. And last night I was streaming for a little bit, just kind of doing some surveying. And my next survey actually ended up being Cobalion. So today I'm gonna actually start my shiny hunt. And fortunately, I was sitting here enjoying my coffee, and I ended up making the perfect donut. So I have a Sparkling Power 3 all types. So that'll give me the best odds on this hunt. And yeah, let me just head over there. Where was it? Okay, I'm gonna go make a backup real quick at this Pokemon Center. And then, yeah, hopefully I'll get it fast, but who truly knows? Good morning to everyone. Hope you're having a good weekend. Hopefully it went well if it's ending for you. Alright, let me make a backup, and then I'll probably just save at the entrance. That way I can just like reset from inside the portal. This will just be more of a worst case scenario. Okay. Let me see. I'll go over to Lysandra Cafe, then I'll go up the elevator. But yeah. Tracheon I got relatively fast, I felt like. We'll see if I get as lucky here with Cobalion. I was aiming just to get a level 2 of either of its typings or all types, which is what I got. But yeah, level 3 is even better. Of course. Alright. I think it's down here. And when I was looking at it last night, I actually have not looked into this hunt yet. So yeah, I was a little lost. But I'm pretty sure I know where to go. Alright, heading in. My Sparkling Power 3. I'm gonna save here real quick. Alright. Run past all. Oh my gosh. That is actually wild. When I came in here last night, I found a shiny Machoke as well. But, I mean, obviously I didn't keep that because I reset. That's so funny that I just found a random shiny on my way in. Maybe that's a good sign. Or maybe that was all the shiny luck. Alright. So from what I understand about this hunt... Oh wait, yeah, there's a guaranteed shiny probably when I get in here, actually. Because of the... Maybe it works that way even though it doesn't show the quests. Alright, so there's Cobalion. From what I understand, I have to run back to this. And that's how I reset it. Yeah, that seems to work. Alright, so that's 2. This will be my 3rd time. Alright, let's see how this goes for me. My first attempt. Yeah, I guess that Machoke's not really that shocking. I probably will find a guaranteed shiny every single time I respawn. I mean, I think that Machoke will probably be saved in, actually. I gotta remember to keep putting the counter up here. I think I'm still on track. Maybe I missed one. I wonder if I have to go back all that way. Okay, here's number 6. I mean, it's definitely despawning. I'm gonna see if I have to go back all the way. Okay, that seems about. Okay, number 8. Cobalion. So this will be my second legendary hunt so far. I've been playing pretty casually since I've gotten into the post game. But I definitely have some challenges I still need to get done. Yes, there's always a chance of getting a random like Riolu or Lucario. Yeah, this is going to be kind of hard because of the donut level. I'm not going to have too long in here. I'm thinking like around 290. I'm just going to soft reset. Maybe this will be my last check. Yeah. I'm gonna soft reset. Yeah, because I have a level 4 donut, so it's gonna be. It looks like I'm probably only gonna get around like 10 to 12 checks before I have to reset. But you know, that's actually not too bad. I mean, my odds are like 1 in 500 something. I can't remember the exact number, but I feel like. Wait, why did? Oh wait, it must have saved after I caught that Machoke. That works too. Alright, here's the next one. This should be 12. If I've kept track accurately. Okay. 13. I just need to get in the groove of keeping the counter going up. Yeah, hopefully when if and when I do find it, I'm able to catch it relatively fast enough that I don't just get the despawner. Because look how fast this donut's going down. Yeah, I don't have like a crazy amount of good berries at the moment. So unfortunately I couldn't achieve a level 5. But you know, this might be all I need. Sparkling Power 3 is pretty good. But you know, probability. It's still going to be the uphill battle here. Nothing yet. Thanks for swinging by this morning. Hope you're all doing well. Yo, what's up, James? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. I just started my Cobalion shiny hunt. Right. I honestly don't remember. It's one of the shops, but I don't remember which one. I bought it so long ago. And I've just been rocking it since. Alright, I'm probably only going to be able to get a couple more checks in here before I gotta reset. I caught Terrakion on the very first ball. Whenever I found the shiny. So hopefully that's the same case here. I mean, to be fair, I could save before I see it. I mean, before I engage, if I do find it. Every time the topic of the Alolan Muck outfit comes up, I always just say they should make this and sell it as a real outfit you could buy, because come on. I'm gonna do one more check. Just because I'm insane like that. Alright, I'm gonna soft reset. Alright. Let's see. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Come on, probability. Be on my side. It seems this is the same as the one I saw in the video I was watching. Alpha Riolu. It's a big angry little one. Alright, I think it's 26 if I'm keeping this accurate. It should be 27. Nope. Alright, that's 30. It's just so not used to doing this. Let's see. Yay. This could last days, for all I know. I don't want to be too acquainted with this tunnel like I was with Whirlipede. I mean, in theory, I have better odds here. But in practice, it could be anything. Just hoping for the best, you know? Wow, this donut goes so fast, being a level 4. It's the main downside here. I guess in a way it's not that bad. I'm still getting in a relatively decent amount of checks. Just little increments. One of these dimensions will just reap the benefits of the shiny. I'm probably only going to be able to get in like 2 or 3 more checks. Okay. Yeah, this will be my last check before I reset here. Right. 37 checks thus far. I would have had been extremely lucky to find it already. Okay. Alright, let me put up 38. This will be my 38th check. $38. $38 checks on this night in hyperspace. Wondering if Cobalion will be a shiny in space. There's no justice in space. 40. How exhilarating. Cobalion. Yeah, Sage. I'm currently shiny hunting Cobalion. By running back and forth, I'm despawning it. Yeah. Just regular old Cobalion. I have a donut that gives the highest rolls for a shiny, but it's also a weaker donut. This is a 5-star portal and it's only a 4-star donut, so it burns through the calories really fast, which is pretty much how much time I can spend in here. So I can only really get in like 9 or 10 checks before I get kicked out. But it's fine, I can just soft reset. It's a pretty straightforward hunt. Just a matter of luck at this point. I'm trying to remember, I think the shiny has yellow. It's like, kind of like a more like vibrant bluish turquoise. And I think it's like brighter yellow. I can't remember though. Maybe I should look at a picture of it. Yo, what's up, Logan? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Good morning. Alright. 48. Probably get in a couple more checks before I got a software set. Maybe 2 more. Alright, last one after. And I'll software set. Alright, I'm gonna software set. Alright, so about 50 checks so far. That's not too shabby, actually. It's going pretty fast. Yeah. I mean, even the software set's not that bad. Because I'm already starting within the dimension. So there was a Machoke. Since I have Sparkling Power 3, I caught a shiny Machoke and it saved right there. Like right at the beginning. So I just keep resetting right here. And they put up 51. But yeah, I have Sparkling Power all types 3 going on right now. Whoa, that's like the furthest they've chased me. I'm trying to be accurate with my counter, but I feel like I'm overthinking it. Like, I'll think I'm forgetting, but just not used to the hunt. Alright. Just keep running back and forth pretty much. Yeah, I was saying a little bit earlier, this is my second legendary hunt of the game. Terrakion, I can't remember the exact number I caught it on. It was either like 100 or 200, somewhere around there. It was definitely under odds. So I'm hoping that I get lucky with this one. Hey Amika, welcome to the stream. Okay, 58. I wonder if I even have to run that far back. I'm gonna try running just to that. I mean, it looks like it's despawning. You still need to get Cobalion and Latios. So you have the other 3 already? Yeah, it doesn't seem like I have to go back, like, the entire way. That's awesome. Congratulations on your others so far. Gardevoir should be a good choice with the fairy typing. You could use something like Talonflame as well. That pretty much beats it on all fronts. Resists the ice. Well, I guess ice is neutral technically. But then you resist the fighting moves, and then both of your stab moves are super effective. Alright, I'm gonna reset here. The crab, I think it's interesting how the crab abominable fight, maybe it was designed to be kind of like that fight that kind of like, you know, makes you realize what these little portals are like, or how the level difference can be kind of difficult. Because I feel like most people, when they do that fight for the first time, it's like, what the? Just getting ganked by 2 megas at the same time. I was definitely not prepared for that whenever I first did that. But I think that's part of the exciting part of it, too. Alright, this will be my 64th check. If I was being accurate with my counts. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, nothing. I mean, guess I just gotta pray to RNGesus here. I feel like the shiny is just more saturated. Maybe we should look at a picture. It's been a minute since I've looked at it. Instill some confidence. I really like Talonflame in this game, even in the PvP stuff. I feel like Talonflame has some real opportunities to get some KOs. I remember when Talonflame first came out in X and Y with Gale Wings before they nerfed it. That was actually absurd. Like, priority Brave Birds. Because now, like, they've adapted. I think sometimes they run, like, Flying Gem Acrobatics just to take advantage of Gale Wing. But, like, even back in the day, wait, I'm trying to remember. I think Gale Wing works that if you're at full health, you get priority. I think that's what the change was. Because I'm thinking of, like, Zacian, how its ability only gets activated once in battle, and, like, Protein. Like, how they nerfed that eventually. But I think Gale Wings is always if you're at full health. But then again, maybe it is only turn 1. I don't know, it's been a while since I've even used Talonflame in VGC. I feel like it always has priority if it's at full health, and that's why they don't run Brave Bird. And they usually don't run an item, because it's actually advantageous for Talonflame to... Like I said, Acrobatics, it's a move that if you're not holding an item, you actually do more damage. It's a flying type move. I'm pretty sure that's what it does. Alright, I'm maybe gonna do one more check, and then I'll soft reset. Is anyone excited for Pokemon Champions? I really hope that they don't, you know, because when things end up becoming mobile games and they put them like some sort of paywall on it, a lot of times it's like the downfall of a game. But I don't know. I hope they don't. I mean, I don't know. I hope there isn't like some weird pay to win type. I mean, I guess Pokemon already is kind of like that to some degree, but I'd see a lot of potential of it being like amazing for competitive Pokemon. Mainly because of accessibility. From what I understand, it's a free game. It's on mobile. You can play it on the Switch or mobile. It's compatible with Pokemon Home. And I think there's speculation that there's going to be like different formats. Like, for example, there might be a full Gigantamax format. Which is kind of cool to think about the possibilities of how it can keep things interesting for a while. Because, like, for example, even in Scarlet and Violet, a lot of, like, stagnant like, a lot of the meta becomes very stagnant after a while. I mean, Fluttermane is literally everywhere, in every format it's ever existed in. It's like top usage, literally in every format you're allowed to use Fluttermane. Straight up, like, it's kind of interesting because, like, when I was actually doing at the beginning of the Scarlet Violet cycle, I actually went to some of the regionals for VGC, and there still was some variety of how you could run Fluttermane. Yo, what's up, Sombra? Welcome to the stream. Like, I remember Icy Wind adaptations where you would mainly run the Icy Wind just to give, like, you know, for just speed control reasons in the mirror or whatever, since there was a lot of that going on. Or, like, when people started running more of a bulky spread to survive hits, to ensure that you could, like, live and then return attack back. I still think Orthworm is one of the most underrated Pokemon in that gen. I was kind of shocked that it wasn't more popular, because I ran it a lot, and I didn't run it with Shed Tail because I feel like that was like, you see a new move like that and you're like, yeah, it's a great user of Shed Tail, no doubt. A lot of people ran it to success, passing substitute to like Dragonite. But the way I ran it was actually purely offensive, like body press, iron defense, heavy slam, protect, and leftovers. Because if you run it the other way, you have to kind of like compromise. Like, you go body press, but then you can't hit ghost type Pokemon. And, like, granted, in this situation, I still can't really deal with Golden Go, which wasn't like, I have ways to deal with Golden Go on my team. But this way I could one-shot Fluttermane with Orthworm with ease, with Heavy Slam. And then if they Terra, it's like, oh, then I just body press them. Unless, and like, most of the time they're not gonna, like, Fluttermane is not gonna Terra Ghost. You know what I mean? So, they either get wrecked by the Steel type move, or they just end up getting wrecked by body press, which is like absurdly high damage. Yeah, so the team I ran, I actually have a recap of my team, I think on, I have a VGC channel that I need to like post more on. I probably will get more into posting on it more regularly again once Pokemon Champions comes out. I'm gonna do one more check here. But yeah, it was like, I paired it with Garchomp. It was like Garchomp, Gyarados with safety goggles for and taunt. It was like a support Gyarados with Thunder Wave. That way it could like pretty much shut down Amoonguss. And then I had Amoonguss on my team as well, because I mean, it's Amoonguss. I had Fluttermane, and then I had Tyranitar as well. Terraflying, Assault Vest, T-Tar. What's up, Sand? So pretty much everything on my team could be in Sand. Like, Garchomp could, Orthworm. Gyarados had safety goggles, so it wasn't taking damage from the sand. Amoonguss doesn't really matter if it's taking damage from the sand. Fluttermane, it does matter a little bit, but I feel like most times I ran T-Tar, I probably did not run Fluttermane based on the way I like ran my team. Terraflying T-Tar was pretty fun. Actually, like, rather powerful. T-Tar is one of those interesting Pokemon that, like Tyranitar, that has such a absurd weakness to a common offensive type, but probably just because of even its utility to put sand up on the field, makes it very, like, useful. By the way, speaking of Pokemon champions, and like I've been seeing a lot of potential leaks of Gen 10. I don't know. It's like, I don't know how much credibility. There has been a lot of credibility to some of these leakers in the past, but I don't really know how much credibility there is to some of the stuff that we're seeing. If you're even looking, and I'm not going to sit here and like spoil anything too major, but I did see that there's like some rumor that the gimmick in Gen 10 is actually going to be revolved around weather. So that's actually really interesting to think about. If they try to revamp how weather is kind of utilized in the battle. And yeah, obviously there's going to be new abilities and new things occurring, more than likely. I mean, they already kind of redid it slightly in Scarlet and Violet with hail, turning into just like snowstorm. No more residual damage at the end of the turn, but now you get like this insane like buff for ice types in the snow. It's like it's very interesting how things subtly change over the generations. But I guess I'm wondering too, if there is that type of gimmick, or whatever the gimmick ends up being, does that mean Pokemon champions may be able to adapt to newer gimmicks that are introduced in games? Like, will there be backwards compatibility to some degree with these Pokemon in Pokemon Home? Or will champions be just kind of like the pinnacle of like Gen 9 and backwards? And then, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like maybe some years down the line they'll release some new form of like a stadium type game that will be similar, if this is successful or a good model. Or will they just like forever update this Pokemon Champions game, since it technically is a live service game? You know what I'm saying? Like, would there be, I'm thinking like there's probably more possibility that it's just like a standalone game that exists for years to come that can like just change with the times. Could be interesting. Because I mean, if it's a mobile game, like, that's like how they work. I think one of the biggest things I hope they at least bring the Pokemon Champions is the ability to change IVs from 31 to 0, or whatever, to 0. Because currently there's just too much unnecessary grind behind some of the optimized IVs you would want for a certain Pokemon. Let me soft reset this, by the way. Thanks for coming out this morning. Happy Sunday. Hope you're having a great weekend. Hopefully you're enjoying these final moments before the week starts. I've been out on the East Coast for a little bit this year so far. Been back and forth a lot. And I've been in the snow the most I've been in like over a decade. It's freezing right now. It was like below 0 last night. I haven't been in this type of weather for a long time. California's made me weak. For real though, like. Yeah, I'm out in Pennsylvania right now. Good old Pennsylvania. Yeah, I remember you said my sister lives in Ohio, actually. I'm actually out there a lot. I think that's where you said you're from, Ohio. Skippity, Ohio. That's how you know I'm getting old. I'm like years behind. Ohio gozaimasu. I remember back in the 2000s there was some band called, I think it was called Ohio is for Lovers, or maybe that was a song. I can't remember, actually. Maybe that was a song name. I just remember on like MySpace that was like a thing. Like the scene girls would be like posting like pictures like pick comment for pick comment. Ohio is for lovers. It's like, wow, that's so deep. We're just so tragically romantic at our age. At the verge of 56 dial-up. Like, totally get off the phone. So it can go on AOL.com. Or AOL, it wasn't even a... Oh my gosh. I remember when I was really young, I actually impersonated my dad one time. Like, I called, like, AOL to get, like, a free trial. And I, like, just tried to deepen my voice. They didn't even question. Like, there's no way I sounded like an adult. Because, I mean, you may listen to me now and be like, yeah, you have a deep voice. But I was, like, a child. Like, my voice did not change until I was in, like, 6th grade or something. Like, 5th or 6th grade, I can't remember. Or maybe it was, like... I don't even remember. Yeah, I think it was, like, around that time. But, yeah, I was just, like, on this phone call with, like, this AOL representative. Clearly not an adult. No, like, I don't know. They just not care. They didn't care. They authorized it, and as on the internet, I don't know. I remember how like fascinating it was as a kid. Like, because I was like, these were like the late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, they really did not care. Like, I was like, Majin Buu 88 is my name. My screen name. Or something like Majin Buu 4 or 69. I swear to God, it was like something like that. Like, some like Dragon Ball Z reference. I used to be obsessed with the power levels in Dragon Ball Z. I remember like when I was in 5th grade, I met some kid who like printed out, like, because this is like how it was back in the day. Like, we didn't have like cell phones or anything. It was like, if you found something on the internet, you printed it out. I actually just realized how ridiculous that actually sounds to think about. Like, because I remember I was like in class and like this kid, like, he went to like some it's like GeoCities, a website of like all the power levels of all the different like Dragon Ball Z characters. Like, I think it was like the Android Saga is what was going on in Japan at the time or something. I don't remember 100%, but I do remember reading these like he was like reading these numbers, like, this character is supposed to be like 20,000 in like future Trunks when he comes back is like at this power level. And I don't know, it's just like funny to think about that. When we found stuff on the internet, you literally had to print it out and it just came out like not pretty a lot of times either. Like streaks through your print. Dude, that's so funny actually to think about. Like, we had to print stuff out. I remember printing out like directions, like on MapQuest. Make a left at the McDonald's. You know, I've actually, you know, I don't know how much truth there is to this, but I saw a couple studies that said there's actually a cognitive decline in Gen Z. Like, no offense to anyone who's from that generation, because, you know, there's bell curves. You may be the exception. But I do actually kind of notice this too a lot of times when I go places, because I've worked in service industries like so many years of my life, like food and such. Like, I understand what it's like to work in those jobs. But I've gone to so many places where I'll like, you know, I'm like really nice about stuff. Like thank you very much and like whatever. But like I've been seeing these like TikTok stuff about something called the Gen Z stare. And I'm like, holy crap, that is definitely a thing. Because like, it makes me feel weird. Like, I feel like I'm being like it's like I'm being judged heavily for being nice or something to these people. Like, they're like looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, I'll be like, thank you very much, and they'll just be like, and they won't say anything. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, what? It's like they're looking at me, like I walk into a place, like fast food place, and I'll be standing at the counter, and everyone will just walk past me, and I'm just sitting there like, dude, what the hell? Like, I've never, like, I don't know, like, I've worked in so many restaurants where I always acknowledge people if someone walks in. Like, I'll be like, hey, I'm busy right now, but just give me a second, I'll be with you in a second, at least. And like a lot of times when it's like younger people from that generation, like they'll just like not look at you at all, and then if they look at you, they'll just like, it's like they're scared to look at you, like they're almost like socially anxious or something. And it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like so weird. And I'm not trying to generalize like a generation, but I think from what I've read too, like they're saying that like because of like growing up on screen time and like pretty much like when I grew up, I'm a millennial, and I grew up with the like evolution of the internet. Like, I was alive when there was no internet, and then I also grew up when the internet was pretty much like from the beginning, like 56K up to what it is now, with like the absurd algorithms and like, you know, pretty much like borderline brainwashing propaganda aspects of like social media, like where people are like utterly depressed and like literally, you know what I mean? It's like tragic in some ways. But I don't know how much truth there is to it, but they're trying to say that like apparently like the 90s is like peak of civilization. Which in a way I kind of feel like is true. As someone who's like lived through it, I feel like the 90s were like the best, because like everything is so like politically charged nowadays in ways that it just was not in the 90s. And I feel like a lot, like people are so connected that they feel like they have to care about every little like detail of what's going on in the world. And they're just sitting here like freaking out about stuff that they'll have absolutely zero control over. As if it matters, really. It only matters because like it's presented to you in a way that's like, you know, like, yeah, it's like, sure, it does matter, but like, you're not going to be able to do crap about it. It's like, why just put all your energy into something like that when you're just virtually not able to do anything about it? It's just like such a weird phenomenon. It's like humans were not meant to see as much as they do. And then like nowadays, it's like people live on the internet in a way where like the internet and everything that's meant to get you to click on is meant to emotionally manipulate you to some degree. Like even YouTube, just going to find a guide for a video game or something that you actually, you know, low value stakes, like it's not even that politically charged or whatever. That's all still emotionally trying to get you to click. Like some person's on it like, holy crap, look at me, like, oh, shiny, you know, like you're like, oh, okay. Like it's like subconsciously like drawing your attention to it, you know, like people will be like, look at my eyes, look at the human eyes, you know, you're gonna look at the human eyes of something. Like that's just how humans are. We're social creatures. When you look at human eyes, you're gonna look at them, you're drawn to them. Like everything is meant to emotionally control you to some degree, you know. It's like that's why you click on it. You're like, oh. Like you don't think of it like that, but And then, you know, they'll just start serving you more of the same things over and 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 over. And then you're just like mad. Or, you know, not necessarily mad, but some people just live in it and they think like, I'll say a thing and that'll really change the world. Sorry. Let me. Yeah, hold on. Let me read this from you, Samba, real quick. Part of me is convinced that it's actually just a collective genius where they made it seem impossible to get strong Gen Z employment until places finally started paying a decent amount. You know, there is that too. Like, I think there's like apathy. Like, I feel like there's a lot of like burdens that are being passed on to the younger generations that like, I think it's like, I think a lot of times people have these weird misconceptions of how to like pass knowledge. I don't know. Dude, like, it's so funny. Like, I've been watching this show called One Piece, which is not like, you know, I'm sure most people know what One Piece is. But I cannot believe how amazing of a story One Piece is. Like, I'm not even done with the show yet. I'm like actually pretty far through the series. I'm over 1,000 episodes. I'm like an egghead. I'm like pretty far along. I think about this show a lot, how it's like seriously one of the most powerful forms of fiction that exists in this current day of age. Like, it's literally probably the best story that's ever been fucking told, if you want my honest opinion. But I think like the reasons are like a lot more nuanced than like even how like a lot of times people perceive it. I could totally get into this why I'm like thinking it, but like, dude, there's this whole like arc about these like fisherman people. And like, I mean, there's a couple arcs with it, but like, dude, like, I swear, like, the show, like, straight up solves racism in the show itself. Like through a cartoon, it, like, touches upon these, like, super complex themes. And, like, a lot of times, like, you know, you see a lot of things that comment on these, like, Dr. Zeus, for example. Like, there's, like, a story, like, with the, I forget what it's called, but, like, where they have, like, the design on their stomachs. Like, yeah, like, those are always, like, commentary, but a lot of times those stories are just kind of trying to say, like, things will never change. You know, like, this is just an innate part of, like, humanity. Like, we are always going to judge at surface level things we don't understand or whatever. But it's, like, fascinating in the One Piece show because it like, kind of, like, does kind of, like, pose more of, like, a, like, interesting turn on how you can, like, move forward with these, like, ideologies into a more healthy space of, like, how do you raise the youth to, like, be knowledgeable of the past but not grow up to be as hateful and, like, you know, you're like kind of like a product of it, but at the same time you're actually like the beneficiary of it as well, if that makes sense. It's pretty fascinating. So you say millennials were also fed this promise of work hard, don't complain, stay loyal, and their job will reward you. So now we're all burnt out and Gen Z sees it. Yeah, I know what you mean. 100%, like, millennials kind of just did the thing. Like, most of us went to college and we're in debt for it, which is, like, you know, a waste of money, realistically. Like, college is, like, most college degrees don't matter. You don't really need a college degree. What you need is nepotism, like, realistically. You just need to know someone. Like, straight up, that's how, like, pretty much all jobs are. I feel like, unfortunately, the reality is, like, most companies rarely hire outside of, like, nepotism. And, like, they do, but, like, literally, I feel like majority of jobs that I've gotten that were, like, better than just, like, some restaurant or whatever I just applied to have just been purely because someone recommended me. And then I got an opportunity based on that. I mean, like, I've gotten some animation jobs by just applying online and such. But, like, even in that industry, it's, like, purely, like, who you know. And you have to, like, be on good terms. And, like, in an industry, like, that's that small, you pretty much have to be on good terms with everyone. Even in, like, streaming, You know, like in my early days of streaming, I used to be way more crude and like critical of other content creators in my space to my detriment, you know what I mean? Fortunately, like this is like the one thing that doesn't really matter on that level in my personal life. Like this is more of like Pokemon's one of my biggest hobbies. I've been playing since Blue as a kid when it came out in the late 90s. Like it's just an innate part of it's like my it's like one of my interests in life. Like no, I almost said unfortunately. It just really is, you know? But it's not like the defining factor of who I am as a person. It's just I love Pokemon. Like, and I'm gonna, you know, just how it is. But yeah, it's like I've learned a lot of interesting things going through that experience. Definitely I've seen people, you know, act out way worse than I've ever done. But my point is, you know, definitely you gotta like know someone. You gotta like, I don't know. Like the thing is, like you realize like a lot of times like people just talk to you. Like when you're doing good, people just talk to you because you're doing good. Type of thing. It's like everything realistically. Like a lot of content creators will try to like leech off of the successful creators. You see it in every space. You don't have a degree, but you beat out people with master's degrees just because you can navigate a hiring process really well and knew a couple softwares and processes. Yeah, no, exactly. Like, even in animation and art in general, if you're just an artist, you don't need a degree. You just need a portfolio that demonstrates your understanding of anatomy, of motion, of storyboarding, of storytelling, of character design, prop design. You know what I mean? Whatever an animation reel that shows character animation, emotions, things that are difficult, walk cycle. You know, like if you're prepared and you know someone, that's like your best bet. And I'm not trying to like discourage people because like you can still just get jobs by applying. But like I feel like, you know, when I went to college for animation and I moved out to Los Angeles for animation. Sometimes I talk about this. I don't think I've ever actually talked about it on this level. But, you know, even in college they tell you not all of you will make it, and it's an extremely competitive job. It's a small industry. Blah, 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 blah. And honestly, I don't know if that's ever really been my dream. So, okay, anyways, I'm getting all over the place. That's not really relevant to what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say ultimately about it is, in these situations when you're like going to school for something, you aren't guaranteed the job that you're going to school for. And pretty much like my generation, we just kind of like believed that you would go to school, go to college, and get a good job, and yeah, life would be great. But the reality is now most of us are in debt, like kind of starting off in debt in the years that you're supposed to finally be building your financial wealth or whatever you are doing at the age being irresponsible. But it's just like, you know, unfortunate. You know, a lot of us like kind of, not a lot of us, I mean, what I'm trying to get at is that there's just a different pathway. And if you're young, I'm not saying don't go to school. Education's actually great, but you don't necessarily need to go to school for a lot of jobs, depending on what you want to do career-wise. Like, I would not waste my money going to school for liberal arts at this point. Like, I don't regret going to college, per se, because I think my experiences maybe were worth it to a degree. But, absolutely, I would not recommend it if you can do better without it. And if you're young, also, if you're watching this and you're of age, like you're 18 or older, like, even if you're older, like, I mean, I'm in my 30s, my late 30s. If any of you are old, you should definitely be putting money aside. Like, you should be, if you're not financially literate, you should absolutely take this as, you know, I'm not a financial advisor by any means, but you should absolutely put money, you should have an emergency savings fund for at least like, at least have like a $2,000 fund as a starter. You should have like, after that, saved up 6 months of your monthly, like, so 6 months of your livelihood. So if you by chance lost your job, you would have enough income for that amount of time to just survive while you're finding a new job or whatever you need to do. These are things you should be putting money aside, and like, you shouldn't just be putting these in your bank. You should have something called a high yield savings account, or even like a money management account, like with something like Fidelity or Vanguard, which is like every month you're getting paid dividends, like interest on the money you're being held there. Normal banks are pretty much robbing you of your growth of your money. But if you put your money in something like that, it's extremely accessible, low risk, and you get paid interest every month just for keeping your money there. Like, at the best, I think like a money management account on like Fidelity right now is like 3.3% interest every month. So that's just like money, free money. I mean, granted, like, you get taxed on at the end of the year, but if you don't make a certain amount, it's not even like, it's like just, you know, it's like taxed income. It's not like you're really breaking the bank or whatever. And sometimes you can, there's exceptions. Yeah, exactly. Yo, what's up, Overrated? One, you know what? Maybe I should put my chat up on the screen. But yeah, if you're young and you're interested in, you know, your future at all, if you have a job, like, dude, you could put 10% of your income into the stock market. Just the S&P 500. You don't even have to, like, think about it. Like, set it and forget it. And over years, that will pretty much, like, every 10 years, you're getting, like, a 10%, like, increase on that investment. And you get paid dividends on it as well, quarterly. So pretty much by the time you're like older, yo, what's up, Poke Dog? Welcome to the stream. So once you're older, just by like being disciplined and putting some money aside, you can grow all this money in a Roth. Oh yeah, by the way, it's a Roth IRA that you should open. Because you can get a 401k with your job or whatever, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you don't have those options with your job, you can open up your own Roth IRA for free on something like Fidelity or Vanguard. And that, all of your investments in that account will grow tax-free. So your whatever money you put into it, it grows, all of the money, everything that grows in it is untaxed. But the only catch is you can't touch that money without consequence before the age of 59 and a half. So essentially this is like your retirement fund. But like, dude, it's free money in a lot of ways. Like if you're just patient and you are disciplined. Anyways, good to see you, Overrated. I'm sitting here like talking about like investing money. Because I wish I wasn't educated like at all on any of this stuff at that age. My parents never taught me any of that stuff. I don't even know if they ever really even knew it, to be honest. But like with my daughter, she's gonna know all of this stuff. She's gonna be putting money aside at a young age. That way, when she's older, she'll just be well off. Because it's not like the same as like day trading or like buying stocks. Because you're not actually, if you don't know what the S&P 500 is, it's something called an index fund, which is pretty much a combination of the top 500 companies in the US simultaneously. And it essentially has never gone down. Like, it goes down occasionally, but like historically it's always gone up. And even if a company goes bankrupt, it gets knocked out of the top 500 and then another company replaces it. So that's pretty much, you know, I don't know. I mean, if that collapses, I'm sure we have way worse issues going on than that. That's kind of like what I'm trying to get at here. And like, yeah, you could like totally make more, you can make more bold decisions if you wanted to. But I'm just saying, like, it's really as simple as like not being like, you don't even have to emotionally care about it. Like, you don't have to be timing the market. You don't have to like look at it like, oh, it's the S&P's high today, I shouldn't buy, or oh, it's really low today, I should buy into it. Like, the less emotions you have invested into the stock market, the better. You should, like, a lot of people have pretty much done this strategy way before us. Like, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm literally just, from what I've understood at the beginning of, like, you know, it's extremely intimidating, and I finally sat down one day and just like educated myself on it. I mean, there's so many resources on YouTube and online. I was like, holy smokes, I cannot believe. It turned into a thought of like, man, I wish I started this earlier. But I guess like the best state of mind is always better now than never. And honestly, even just like, there's been months where I honestly can't even put money aside for investing, but I still find ways to put in a little bit. Like, even if I put in like $10 that month, like, that's still something. And it does end up like mattering in the long grand scheme of things. But whenever you're doing these things, you have to like look at it as, this is money that I'm willingly forfeiting, because there is always a risk still. But it's just, when you're looking at something like the S&P 500, you're typically trying to hold these for the long term. So, you know, like, for example, earlier last year, it all dropped down a lot. But, like, unless you're selling, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not even a bad thing. Like, you're not gonna just all of a sudden start selling all your shares because it dropped. You just hold it. And it already, like, went to its highest highs in the last, like, month or so. So it's like, if you're just patient, it just bounces right back up. Like, if you were trying to retire, like, if you're trying to cash out last year, maybe that would have sucked. But, like, realistically, you just wait longer. You know, you're like, you don't know when it will fix or when it will go back up, unfortunately. But it's like, all you can know is, like, if you're patient, it should go back up and you should be able to get your values worth. Alright, I'm gonna reset here. No luck so far. I know I've missed a couple counts because I was kind of ranting there, but honestly, it's probably better than I'm getting into the rants because I'm a little more distracted from the consistent resetting and running back and forth, you know? And honestly, maybe this could help someone who's just listening. And I'm not trying to, like, you know, it's, again, it's never too late to start. Because even, like, for me, like, I probably have, like, a little, like, over 20 years before I retire for my Roth IRA. That's still a good amount of years for me to compound interest on, like, my, like, investments, etc. The thing about the Roth IRA, there's actually a cap of money you can put into it yearly because it's that good. It actually got increased to $7,500 this year, but last year it was $7,000. I think, like, but yeah, it's they put a limit on it because it's that powerful. And also, not everyone actually is able to invest in one if you make too much money. You're not actually, I feel like you're not actually allowed to open a Roth IRA. But yeah, anyone who works, like, dude, like, the way I, like, usually do things, I just put, like, 10% of my income from my paycheck into my Roth immediately, and then I put 10% into my emergency savings. I would say having emergency savings is probably more important as a priority than investing. It really depends on where you're at, but having that blanket of income really puts a lot more, it takes so much stress off you, because there's a lot of stuff that just comes up, like a car part problem, or like a vet bill, or maybe even like a medical bill. A lot of things can come up, and most people don't even have like $1,000 that they can reach into. But if you have that little comfort of emergency savings, like I was saying, like maybe like 1.5K or like 2 grand could be a good safety blanket. That's like, if you just have that and it's sitting in your money management account or your high yield savings, you're just gaining interest on that every month, that you're just keeping it there. So it's just giving you more money every month, you know? And depending on like your rate, you might be getting like $5 to $10 or whatever every month, depending on how much money you even have in there. Finances. I mean, probability and numbers. We were talking about the struggles of like the millennial experience. Yo, what's up, the Nukin? What's up, homie, Mr. Joe? Happy Sunday to you, my friend. Number 1 mod. You just missed our discussion about growing up as a millennial and doing what we thought would make us successful, but it only put us into crippling debt. And now Gen Z is pretty much like, what's the word? Jaded, maybe is the appropriate word. How's the snow been for you, bro? Happy Sunday. Every day of the week. We've got Sundays on Mondays, on Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. I'm gonna do one more check. Yeah, I'm fairly confident my counts are off. Just know it's somewhere around here. Alright, let me reset. Welcome to stream, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for keeping me entertained while I shiny check Cobalion. Let's go. Let's go. Back at it. Up again. Back at it. Up again. I see you said something. For some reason it's... Hold on real quick. I see that you typed something, but it's not showing it here in my chat. Yeah, I picked a career I thought would make me happy over such a mistake. The snow is still deep and frozen. Parking lots are nuts because they had to find... Yeah, dude, in Pittsburgh. I've been out in Pittsburgh, actually. And the snow has been absurd. Like, they don't have anywhere to put it either. It's supposed to warm up this upcoming week, thankfully, but... There's certain parts of the city where they turn multiple lane roads into one lane because there's nowhere to put the snow. And a lot of times I I've been going downtown a lot. Pretty much every Saturday I've been going to this life drawing. It's where they have like a live model and they do poses. And, you know, you just kind of draw different poses, trying to get better at drawing the anatomy and just like weighted poses, you know, just realism. But I didn't go the past couple weeks just because of the snow. It was canceled actually the 1 week because there was nowhere to, there was just no way. But yep. It takes some time to check for Cobalion. Because it's Cobalt. I like how it's been cold enough for the snow to stick around. It's been a long time that we got snow and it stayed on the ground no longer for like 3 days. Yeah. Feel that. I mean, I haven't even been in winter like this for a long time. I mean, I grew up in it, but I got the whole package this year. This is the most I've been traveling back and forth as well. It's been fascinating to my bank account. It almost makes me feel like I should be getting a new type of credit card just for travel. But I don't know, it's not always going to be like this. You are my shiny. You're not the shiny. I do have Sparkling Power 3, so getting about halfway there. Let's see. I'm gonna soft reset this. How do I like this DLC? Honestly, I like it when I'm like, this is how I feel about it. I don't like grinding it personally, but I also feel like I haven't been grinding it, so I kind of like it, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like if I was trying to grind through all of this as fast as possible, this would be miserable. Because it kind of is. Like, I don't really particularly enjoy getting donuts or how you have to get donuts. I don't like how it's just randomized every single time. I think it's a really bad gameplay loop. The fact that the surveys are not guaranteed is also kind of lame. But for whatever reason, I feel like my experience has been fairly casual. And I have actually feel like I've gotten a lot of the stuff I've wanted. So I feel like I've just been maybe lucky in that regard. Because yeah, for the most part, I feel like it kind of sucks. Like, it doesn't suck, but I don't feel compelled to keep playing, if that makes sense. I feel like I've already gotten a lot of the stuff I wanted in this game. Like, it's fun to play. Like, even the PvP stuff is still fun to play. You know, but I'm not like feeling like, oh, I need to log on and actually play. Which I think is a good thing. It's definitely like one of the easier games to get shinies in, but I feel like I'm not really too compelled to get many shinies in the game either. And it's like, because I almost would rather just get them as a shiny alpha than just a regular shiny, I almost feel like shinies aren't even that... Like, they're valuable, but I almost don't even really care about the shinies in this game as much as just a shiny alpha. Which is kind of an interesting phenomena, because I don't think I felt that way at all in Arceus. Like Legends Arceus, because I only got one Shelfa in that game. And I had to do that, like, horde permutation, or whatever it was called, where you had to, like, manipulate the hordes to get the shiny. Like, that was, the only one I ever got in that game. And I didn't even really try to get any other ones after that. But in this game, I feel like I've actually actively tried to get more alpha. Shelfas, excuse me. You didn't get past the opening tutorial mission. Yeah. I mean, it's like, this is how I look at it. It's not perfect. Like, the time limit thing is kind of annoying, for sure. But I guess it hasn't been as bad as I thought it would be, as well. But like I said, I'm not grinding it daily. So I feel like when I'm playing it, it's like I'm actively choosing to play the game. And I already know what my expectations are, so I'm actually enjoying it when I am playing. And I think there's a healthy bit of luck that's also in my experience. That's what I've noticed. I feel like it actually plays a huge role in my bias of like how I feel about it. And at the end of the day, I feel, this is how I also feel. Because Pokemon games have always been interchangeable, like, not necessarily backwards compatible, but forwards compatible, I feel like I look at these all as future investments of Pokemon. Like, a lot of the Pokemon in this game can just be chalked up to, oh, I'll just use these in Pokemon Champions, or they'll be in my living decks now as a shiny. So it just ends up being more of a, I still see the silver lining, you know? So it's like, if this was a standalone game, and everything was confined to this game, I probably wouldn't feel as interested in shiny hunting or doing most of the things in it. But knowing that it is, kind of changes how I feel about it. And I feel like that's the power of a Pokemon game, is that even if the game itself isn't, like, the best, there's always that level of, like, there's stuff in this game. Like, even just if you're looking at this from a VGC competitive side, there's some free legendaries and mythical Pokemon in this game, or even just as a collector, there's free mythicals in this game that haven't even been given out in any other ways in a long time. So, and you can shiny hunt Gimme Goal a lot easier. There's just like certain things that's like, yes, there's a benefit. It's made certain hunts that were otherwise annoying and repetitive as well, actually way less repetitive, even though the system itself may seem a little repetitive and like bad cycle. By the time you do your third planning meeting in the base game, yeah, I know what you're saying, bro. Don't give up yet, though, if you can give it another chance. Yo, what's up, Andy? Great to see you. Which mythical did you find, Sombra? My very first scan was actually Meloetta, but I didn't know how the scans worked, and I accidentally beat it, and it despawned, so I actually failed my first scan. Yeah, Andy felt the same way. It's like very repetitive. No, I think that's a fair critique for sure, because I can feel it myself. It's one of the reasons why I haven't been streaming a crazy amount. Like, I think I streamed last night for an hour, but it was like probably a week or so since I've really streamed. And the only reason why I'm streaming today is because I found this last night, and I was like, oh, I guess I could shiny hunt Cobalion. And, you know, again, oh, Magearna. I actually got my Magearna last night, too. That's so funny. Yeah, you could just get it there. Isn't that funny? It's just sitting there as a quest. Wait, Gen 3? Oh, I see. That makes sense. You got your Gen 3 legendaries and you stopped after that. I understand. I mean, I think most people could agree with you, Mr. Joe. I'm even agreeing with you. I'm just saying, I think my experience playing it has just been a mixture of like fortunate luck. So, you know, it makes it a little less grindy. Because I know I've read stories of people getting the scans, and their first 5 scans are all battle zones. If that was my experience playing this game, I probably would hate this game. Like, you know what I mean? I'd probably just despise it. But I feel like I haven't been in that situation. Like, I've actually had a healthy balance of RNG. So, like I said, any minute now I can just go downhill. You didn't even make it that far. Did the opening done and gave up since the base game boards the hell out of you? Aw. You want to get Rayquaza, but it's annoying. Am I done with all the captures? You mean like I've pretty much done all of the like Hoenn legendaries. Like I've done Rayquaza, I'm pretty sure I beat the game aside like this post-game scanning stuff. Like I haven't caught Latios yet. I've got Shiny Terrakion already, which I got pretty fast, which I was fortunate about. But yeah, I have like pretty much, I've done all the boss battles as far as I know. That's pretty funny. I mean, it's whatever. I'm not gonna tell anyone. I don't think it affects me. Alright, let me soft reset. I understand 100%, bro. I totally understand it. I have had some enjoyment out of it. Like, there is something, like, I feel like it's like a mixed bag, because I think there's a lot of good in it, but I think like the main issue is probably just like the play loop cycle for the post game. It's just too much like gambling. I don't like leaving my stuff up for chance all the time. Like I get the shiny hunting aspect. Like I don't really mind this. Like this is still by far some of the easiest shiny hunting that's ever been done in Pokemon. It's more so just the repetitiousness of like the donuts. I mean, once you get past the game and you're on your own, it's a little bit better. I'm not like a big fan of Team MZ or whatever that they were called in general. Like I don't think I've ever laughed at anything that they've done or felt connected. But again, like, I feel like because I'm thinking so far, like I'm thinking about competitive Pokemon too when I'm playing this game. Like, it's like I'm thinking of it as like a connected part of the web more than like an individual game at times, which probably isn't even fair. Like, it's like, this is a standalone game that should just be criticized at that level. You found one of the 3 Musketeers before I even reached Darkrai? I was shocked. It was in a random area hiding in a corner. That's so funny. That's wild. Yeah, I feel that, Mr. Joe. I think the thing is, they were trying to do something different in a lot of different like aspects of this game. I can't really knock them for trying something different because I feel like I understand the argument, But in a lot of ways, I kind of like that they tried to make a game that was kind of confined to one city. I'm not particularly bothered as much by the graphic fidelity of it either. But I understand like that actually could be a like legitimate criticism to have. I think the battling is like probably the best part of the game. Like the battle system I thought was really cool. I would love to see them do more with it in its own, like, maybe they continue this type of style in future Legends games. Hopefully they can like work out some of the little bugs with like the pathing, like the pathways that the Pokemon sometimes pick, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, also you have to kind of think about, like, these games kind of get cut on time way too early. Unfortunately, with the way that their pipelines are, they just kind of, like, never really have enough time to do all the stuff they originally had in mind for this game. It seems like they probably had to downscale the game intentionally. Just for, like, room. Out of the Switch era, what is your favorite Pokemon game? Which one did it right? Or was heading in the best direction? Because, I mean, honestly, Pokemon Sword. Pokemon Sword does look good when you go back and look at it. I feel like it's kind of interesting how, like, the whole graphic thing came up with Pokemon Sword originally too, but I do feel like it looks like a great, like, it still looks good for what it is. Switch 2 and Scarlet and Violet was good. Did it cost $120? I thought mine was $60 plus the $30 for the DLC. I mean, granted, you know. In your opinion, best new gimmick Mon Gen 9 was too lazy, but open world saves the game. Do you mean Pokemon Sword was the best gimmick in Mons? Or do you mean Gen 9 was? Oh, the Switch 2 version cost that much. That's cool. Generation 8. Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting how diverse opinions can be just based on maybe what you play Pokemon for. That's pretty cool. Everyone can kind of appreciate something different about the franchise. Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, it seems like video games are getting expensive anymore. It is kind of interesting how, though, like, for how many decades video games have kind of stayed as like a stable price. Oh my gosh. Dude, I hate this game. A Shelfa Riolu? Dude. I can't even catch that. Dude, I almost want to just catch that and like say screw the Cobalion. Well, get a good look at it. It's probably the last I'm gonna see it. Yeah. That's like the one time I'm like contemplating my life. I mean, I do have the live stream, technically. This will be forever, you know, archived to some degree. Ay. I'll go up closer to it before I reset. But yeah, that breaks my heart a little bit. That's like the one thing I actually would want to catch. Imagine I found this shiny Cobalion and I was able to catch both. It doesn't look like that's gonna happen though. I like how I'm not even hunting that, and I found that in actually like relatively good odds. Like the chance for me to just shine it, to bring in the alpha. Wow. Alright, I'm gonna go over there real quick. Yeah, so I can't catch this, unfortunately. Dang it. Just punch me. If only. It's so annoying. That's one thing to give me. I mean, you know, with like Legends Arceus, a lot of people said that was their favorite. Like, I feel like more casuals found that to be their favorite Pokemon game. Personally, for me on the Switch, I would actually say Scarlet and Violet, just because I'm a VGC player at heart. Like, that's probably where most of my love of Pokemon weighs is competitively. And I feel like Gen 9 was probably the best gimmick, balance-wise, and like really just revitalized a lot of old Pokemon that normally would never see competitive play. But yeah. Like, I didn't really play much of Arceus after I beat that game. I didn't really shiny hunt much in it. But I think that's kind of good too, is a game that you can actually just beat. But at the same time, if the gameplay loop is not something you're enjoying, like, you're not gonna beat it. You wish the storage... Oh, you wish it was like steps more than... Oh, that's kind of interesting. Oh, that's an interesting thought. That is a little bit different. The only problem would be that you could just keep flying in infinitely. Oh yeah, I don't know if there is anything special for birthdays in this game. Your Pokemon Home keeps getting hacked? Wait, what do you mean? I am excited for Champions, but also kind of nervous about the paywall stuff and like virtual currency that might be in the game. Is a little concerning. Yeah, I think if anything, in this game, the only mark that's going to show up when you transfer out of this game is probably for like alphas or like event Pokemon. Like that were distributed through Mystery Gift. Ribbing hunting and collecting is actually one of those like pastimes I feel like really dedicated Pokemon fans are into. Yeah, it's hard to know. Usually they all have the same like what's it called? They all have the same title. It's probably just not I bet you when home comes out it'll show up when you put it into home. I mean, that's what I would assume at least. I wonder if it was like that for Arceus. I don't really remember. Didn't they have mystery gifts in Arceus? I cannot even remember. Man, that Shalfa Riolu. It haunts me. The only thing is I wouldn't even have a donut to use if I did try to catch that. And then I'm not gonna like sit here and roulette donuts on stream like that. Feels like that'd be boring. Yeah, I feel like those berries are kind of hard to get. It's like annoying to like you don't want to just waste your donuts. I mean, your berries on donuts aren't gonna work. Thanks for coming out. Oh, I see, I see. How you liking your Switch 2? What's the best game that you have on it that you like playing? Did it live up to expectation? I see. So you're saying that there is like that major difference between the games. Well, you know, I just wanted to say, even though you two hate the game, I appreciate you swinging by to watch me play it. How nice of you. Maybe it's not so bad when you can do something else. Second monitor type stuff. I see. Second monitor. I was saying a little bit earlier, I've been watching One Piece for the first time, and it's kind of interesting how the show just like continues to just get better and better. Like I'm like 1,100 episodes into the series, and something happened recently that I won't spoil, but it completely redefined one of the characters in the show in a way that was just like some of the most meta, like comic book / animation that I've ever seen. And it just like blew my mind. like how cool. Like Luffy, the main character in One Piece, is probably one of the coolest main characters I've ever like seen in a fictional story. And it's not like I feel like if you don't watch the show, you just assume he's like some similar character to like Naruto or like Goku or like those shonen like leads. But he's like actually so much different. Like even like his like what he stands for as a character is some of the most unique main character. Like I don't know, it's just so amazing. Like when I watch shows like that, I normally don't like the main character like that. I always feel like it's like pretty cheesy. You know, they make them like these like super virtuous characters, right? Maybe even unrealistic to a degree. But Luffy's like not like that actually. He's like almost a very self-serving character. He's not really like yeah, people a lot of times try to use Luffy like he's like, oh, who would save all the he's always fighting the bad guys. Like actually Luffy doesn't just fight bad guys. He typically doesn't just, he's not a hero. Like he even says it multiple times in the show. He's like, I'm not into that hero stuff. Like he literally is not a hero. Like I mean, in the show he's absolutely a hero in a lot of situations, like by his actions, what he does. But most of the time he's only doing certain things because you fed him food. Like he literally is so determined by food. If you feed him food, you become his friend. If you're his friend and you get hurt, he protects you. That's literally his basis of like how he does stuff. He's not a hero because he doesn't want to just save the world to save the world. That's not why he exists. His whole point of a character is he wants freedom. His freedom. Like he doesn't particularly care about the freedom of everyone around him. He just doesn't want people telling him what to do. So it's a very interesting character actually. And it's like very nuanced like throughout the show. Like you see it in a lot of times where like people kind of misconstrue it like he's like this giant hero. He really isn't though. He just kind of coincidentally finds himself in all these situations where he just ends up being a hero. It's awesome. Hey, what's up, Kimberly? Good to see you. Yeah, it's like, the thing is, I appreciate that, Mr. Joe. You are the #1 mod, homie. Some people have watched the Netflix adaptation, like the live action one. Like, I feel like that one's way too condensed to really get, like, I don't know. The anime is also, there's a lot of filler, for sure. And it's not a true adaptation of the manga, which is like the original inception of the story. Like, there's some censorship in the anime, for example, because the manga is a little violent. But, dude, the story itself, like, I'm telling you, it is seriously some of the best fiction I've ever read or experienced. Like, it just, like, I don't think there's any other story I've ever read in my entire life. Like, after, like I've never been able to go through an entire show and series and just be completely mystified by what's kind of happened next. And this show, its story, has been going on for 25 plus years. And it literally will keep you not knowing what's coming next the entire time you're watching it. And like, you can completely be spoiled by it right now if you wanted to, but like, whenever that show or story finally comes to an end, like you're like, think of it this way. This is probably, in my opinion, this is my personal opinion, I think it's probably going to be one of the best stories ever told in our lifetime. And it's like, it's still ongoing. So granted, it could end like Game of Thrones and Thrones or whatever and be terrible. But like Oda, the guy who's the author, he already knew what the ending was when he first started writing it. So it's kind of hard for me to think that it's not going to be good, just based on everything else that has already been happening in the show. You got Cobalion too. Oh my gosh. You hope they run back to the other raids in Scarlet Violet like the dragons. You know what? That would be cool if they cycled through the older raids for a while. That's good to hear, Kimberly. I hope everything is well. Hopefully your winter's treating you good. like, I struggled to start One Piece for so long, and the main reason why I wanted to get into it, because I was mentioning earlier, like, I went to school for animation. So, for me, like, I just personally always thought, like, One Piece's character designs were so fascinating. Like, the way, like, the play of, the playing around with the shapes, the body types, like, I mean, granted, a lot of the women kind of, like, have this very, like, fan servicey look to them, but, like, even beyond that, like, there is, like, a lot of, like, really uniqueness to the and creativity to the One Piece world. And I think personally that's like why I wanted to get into it originally, was like how wacky and absurd everything looked from the outside in. And when you watch it, that's actually one of the best aspects of One Piece, is like how ridiculously off the, like, how ridiculous everything really is. I mean, one of the main characters is a swordsman who uses 3 swords. Like, that alone, like, when I first saw that and I started watching it, like, the first episode, if you watch, like, the first episode and you don't like it, you might not like the show. But I feel like you'll know within the first, like, couple episodes and first, like, arc if you'll like the show. But whenever, like, they introduced the one, like, swordsman character, Zoro, I was just thinking, like, this is so freaking ridiculous. Like, a 3-sword swordsman, and he literally puts the one sword in his mouth. Like, it sounds so dumb on paper. But when you're looking at it, it's like, wow, this is one of the most badass, cool things I've ever seen. And he literally is, like, the epitome of, like, that character the entire run of the show. It's like, this guy is just awesome. Like, it's just, like, that sold me on the world. I was like, okay, the fact that he was able to pull this off, one of the, like, what should be so stupid. You know, like, it sounds like a little kid made this, like, but then you see it and it's like, dude, this is so, this is awesome. Like, that, it's just like, wow. Like, I don't want to, like, spoil too much, but, like, there's even, like, the devil fruit powers, which are, like, kind of like the whole thing in One Piece is there's, like, these thing called devil fruits. And some people can eat them and gain, like, a certain power at the expense of not being able to swim. And, like, the powers in the show are just so funny and goofy, and I don't know. It's just great. You finally got rid of the grizzly bear? You mean in Animal Crossing? You missed Dragapult and Hydreigon. Yeah, I wonder when they're gonna, I wonder what's gonna happen with Scarlet and Violet. Like, are they, I mean, it feels like, like, even with Coliseum, or excuse me, with Champions coming out, I feel like they're not gonna just stop doing stuff for Scarlet Violet until Gen 10 is released, right? Like, maybe they'll still do some live service raid updates and wild zones or whatever. That's cool, Kimberly. Dude, I wish I had more friends that were, like, into One Piece, because it is seriously, like, worth the investment. Like, I wish I could watch it all over again and never have seen it. That's, like, how good it is. I'm not even caught up, and I'm, like, consistently, like, blown away by how I've been this invested in a show that, like, I feel like it would be impossible to keep my interest this long. And, like, I'm there's, like, so many red herrings, there's so many misdirects, there's so many, like, things that get redefined hundreds of episodes later that, like, deepen your understanding of a moment that happened early in the chapters or earlier in this saga. It's just, like, it just changes how I look at how other stories have been told. And, like, at surface level, it's like, this is a show about pirates, but it really isn't. It's, like, more about a corrupt world government that has, like, a past that has been manipulated. Like, there's a big gap in history that has been pretty much erased by the elites in the One Piece world. It's actually very fascinating because it almost mirrors our own world in a lot of ways. No problem, Kimberly. Thanks for swinging by. Maybe they will. I feel like, I mean, I don't know particularly for like these console games, but like mobile games and such, I'm pretty sure there's been laws that have been set in place that once a game is no longer a live service, you need to offer an offline version of the game. Like, I think even Pokemon Go, in theory, once it eventually isn't a game anymore, like, they have to have an offline version of the game you can access. And I feel like it wouldn't be, like, raids and, like, catching Pokemon in the wild and all that. It would probably be just being able to look at your Pokemon and your ribbons or your, like, medals and whatever, like, your clothes that you have, your avatar. I don't know. I wonder what a world... I wonder what that world will look like when Pokemon Go is, you know, not live service anymore. Just you went to check on your Switch. Your console would randomly turn on and someone was remotely controlling it. Reported to Nintendo a while back, but yeah. Wait, what? That's insane. How did that happen? Do you have like did you break your Switch? Like, is your Switch modded? Like, I don't understand how that could even happen. Yeah, I mean, look at what is locked into offline Pokemon Go. Yeah, it wouldn't be much. Like, you could maybe bring your buddy out and stand idly. Pokemon Go is pretty dead in a lot of ways, yeah. I play fairly casual. Any competitive Pokemon Go I've done this season has been just purely for auto wreck and Stardust. I mean, some places are still pretty active. But, yeah. I didn't even know people can hack your Switch too like that. That's crazy. That's the first I've ever even been brought aware of that. Cause oh, so your parcel got there, Kimberly? That's good. Still thinking about that shelf Riolu that I saw that I had to give up on. You know who it is and how he does it? What if they made like a different version of Pokemon Go for like an offline experience? That's rough, yeah. I know I'm not like exactly on the right amount of counts, but this is an estimate. This is like pretty close to where I'm at, reset wise. If they made an MMO Pokemon game, I feel like that just seems like the end game of like what a Pokemon game could be. I can only imagine how much money they would make off of that if it was anything remotely good. Excuse me. Congratulations on your amiibo scanner. Cobalion. Cobalion. What's going on? I'm Cobalion. Alright, I'm gonna reset. So real quick, I'm gonna get some more water. So just give me 1 second and I'll be right back. But thanks for chatting me up and hanging out with me a little bit. Definitely getting to that halfway point on shiny odds for this hunt. I'm still under odds, so could still. I mean, this is getting pretty fast. I'm not gonna lie. I've been getting a little talkative with the chat, which is always great. So really appreciate you keeping me some company while I'm doing my hunt. But yeah, just give me like a couple minutes. I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the bathroom briefly too. Thanks again. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. BRB. BRB. All right, 1 sec. And if you are watching on YouTube, please hit that like button. It does help out my content a lot here. Thank you. Alright. Here I am. Back at the checks. Nothing for me. Yeah, I like Totodile. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for subbing too. Thank you, Kimberly. Thanks for your patience. Alright. Just back at the grind again. Goes pretty fast. Let's see. Know the ritual? Wait, what do you mean? There's something I have to do to guarantee better luck. I already sacrificed a Shelfa Riolu to time. I set up. Just back and forth. I will get a shiny Cobalion this morning one way or another. That's how I'm looking at it. Release a shiny, it will increase trust. That's pretty funny. Sacrificial shiny. I'm not sure how that would really entrust the Pokemon. Like, see that Pokemon I gave a home and a place and love? Well, I'm sending them back to the streets. Now they're domesticated. I'll entertain you, and I'll do it on the next one. I'll release a shiny at the beginning of the... when I come back in, see if it works. I will release a shiny. I definitely have something I could release. Alright, let me reset. So when I go back in, I'm gonna... I have a shiny Honedge I could release. Since it's blood red. Like Arceus, the god himself, drenched in his blood. You're moving on to your Android tablet? Sure. I wonder what it's like viewing the Sassifrass stream through a tablet. Oh wait, real quick. I'm gonna make a sacrificial shiny. Alright, Honedge. Honedge number 13. A hardy knew ye. Goodbye. Alright. Alright, I've released Execute Order 66. Execute Order 66. Imagine it was shiny, like, instantly. I would be baffled. Where are all the younglings? The thing is, when I saw it for set, I could continuously, just for the clip, I could continuously sacrifice Honedge. It'll be like cursed to a eternity of damnation. I could like roulette the different ones. I appreciate that. I like Totodile. I like Totodile also, by the way. I'm not a huge fan of Mega for Alligator, but Totodile has always been peak. Like, on paper, Mega for Alligator should be amazing. Like, water, dragon type, that's a great type. Favorite, I usually go with Snorlax. That's like my OG favorite since I was a kid when it first came out. It's pretty much what got me into Pokemon with Pokemon Blue back in the day. But other than Snorlax, I tend to like bounce between different bug type Pokemon. I'm trying to think what my favorite bug Pokemon currently is. Heracross has always been one of my favorite. I do like Scizor too. I like all the bug Pokemon in Gen 2. I like Fortress a lot. But Trustle's one of my favorite bug types as well. There's a lot of different ones I like. I really like Muck a lot. Like the OG Contonian Muck. I just remember watching it back in the anime as a kid. It seemed like pretty cool. Snorlax is definitely... I've been thinking about making like a little short kind of explaining my story, how I got into Pokemon. Because when I was like, I think like 9 or 10 years old, that's when Pokemon came to the United States, like on the Game Boy. And my family got sent a VHS from Toys R Us promoting Pokemon. And there's actually, you can find the footage on YouTube of like the commercial or whatever, like the promotional video. And it's so funny because this is before, you know, this is like no one even knew what Pokemon was. Not even the people who were in the video, clearly, who are trying to like promote it to us. It's like the first time it's ever been in America, and they're trying to explain what Pokemon is. It's so wild to rewatch it, knowing like this is before Pokemania, like before like the trading card game and all that came out at the same time. And in the like little trailer, they show Snorlax, and I remember watching it as a kid, and I was just like, what is that thing? And it just seemed so cool to me. And my mom took me to Toys R Us, and they had red or blue. And I remember thinking in the video that creature was blue. And I'm like, I knew that there was Pokemon that were exclusive to each game. So in my head, I was thinking, well, if that Pokemon was blue, and this is a blue game, it must be in this game. So that was the game I got, Pokemon Blue. And whenever you get the box, if you know, back in the day, pretty much they had like these little slips. I don't know if they do this anymore actually, but they used to have these little like slips. You would pick it up and go to the front and pay for it, and then there'd be like this kiosk full of all the video games, and you trade in the receipt, and the guy has like the game back there or whatever. So I didn't actually see the on the back of the box of red and blue. They both have Snorlax on it because obviously it's in both games. We already know that. But at the time, I thought like as a kid, I was like, "Dang, I made the right decision." Because when I saw it at when we checked out, I was like, "Oh look, there's there's that Pokemon that I thought was really cool. I must have made the right decision." I do like Sonic the Hedgehog, yes. Your food is ready. No problem, Kimberly. Enjoy. It's kind of funny. There's actually this picture of me as a kid. I was in a baseball. I was like dressed up in my baseball uniform, and I'm holding this comic book of Sonic the Hedgehog. I actually had a Genesis growing up. That's where I mainly knew Sonic from. But there was a cartoon that actually used to play in the morning when we were getting ready for school. With Dr. Robotnik and his two droids, like the one chicken and the little, like, guy with, like, the drills. Maybe Knuckles. I don't really know. Like, Sonic-wise, I never really played many of the Sonic games after, like, the original Sega. Like, I never even really played, like, Dreamcast or whatever. I only like Dr. Robotnik. I see, like, for me, peak Sonic is playing Sonic and Knuckles. Like, Sonic 3 is probably, like, in my mind, what the best Sonic game was, but I've never played really anything past that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember when I was a kid and they made Sonic 3D, that was, like, innovative. It was like, whoa. Perceived 3D graphics on 32 bits. That is the future. I mean, even if you think about Game Boy and like the original Pokemon, the reason why it was such a great game was because of like what it was able to do within the limitations of the hardware. Like even like musically, there's only 4 channels that it could, like one of them's like a noise channel, and I think 2 of them are for pitch, and I think I'm forgetting what the other one is. I think maybe there's 3 pitch, but it's actually really impressive that they were able to make these timeless songs. Yeah, the cartoon, The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, yeah, like that old cartoon that was it like PBS or something? I don't remember. Yeah, like so I remember like playing Sonic 3, putting it on the Sonic and Knuckles cart, putting it into my Sega Genesis, and I was just thinking as a kid, like, this is like video game, like, you know? Like, I feel like graphics in video games kind of plateaued, like, in a way. Like, there was like this whole war of like graphic fidelity for years, like the console wars they call them, when it actually mattered. You know, like, are you a PlayStation? Are you Nintendo? And then like Xbox came out of nowhere and became like a part of the rivalry. Dude, I remember like playing the original Halo, like me and a bunch of friends like having pizza parties, playing LAN, which is like, you know, like the local connection where we'd have multiple TVs and Xbox set up, and we're all just like playing these giant games of Halo 1. It was just like a different time. Yeah, I legitimately feel like 90s might have been like 90s and early 2000s like best era of like civilization ever in America. When things weren't really like terrible for the middle class, but even kids, like we got to like really just experience like things that just are taken for granted, like because like now everything's almost like online, and it's like sometimes I forget like it's very similar, but like the access is like even better now. Like we could do things like, you know, it's awesome, but something about it is like lost in a way too. Yeah, it was like ABC or something. Yeah, I can't remember. PBS. I don't remember what channel it was, but it was on at like 6 in the morning, getting ready for the school bus. You and your dad spent the entire summer break getting the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic 3D Blast, going to the final boss, beat it, nothing happened. We were lied to about Supersonic and Sonic 3D Blast. Wait, Sonic 3D Blast. I never played that one. Or do you mean the... Is that the same... Is that a different one than the one I'm thinking of? Or maybe that is the same one. Sonic 3D. Because yeah, there isn't Supersonic in that game. Dude, I remember unlocking Supersonic for the first time. Which is clearly a Dragon Ball Z ripoff. Like, it just seems so obvious. Like, Sonic is kind of like a kids-friendly Dragon Ball Z. Like, not that like Dragon Ball Z is not kid-friendly, but I guess it is a little violent. Yeah, it's in the old games, but it's not in the 3D one. Yeah, where like the little birds follow you and stuff, right? On like the grid pattern. It's like the, what's it called? I'm trying to remember what the term of it's called. Isosymmetric, is that what it's called? When it's like kind of like a third quarter turned. Yeah, yeah, that is the same game. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, there is no, because it doesn't have Supersonic in it, right? I mean, clearly Sonic... It's so funny, because, like, when you asked me if I like Sonic, my mind was just like... Excuse me. I was thinking of, like, deviant art. I was like, oh, so you think I'm like that, huh? What, you think I'm just, I mean, I am playing Pokemon. I guess, like... I don't know, it's just kind of funny to me. But, you know, maybe when there's enough dots and you draw the lines. There's a picture that's made. Sonic did come before Dragon Ball? I'm pretty sure it didn't. Good morning, Sir Carius Dracus. How's everything going, bro? I'm pretty sure Dragon Ball has been around since the 80s. I mean, the westernization of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z may have came after Sonic, but I'm pretty sure in Japan it's a predecessor. Sonic has been dude, Sonic's been here since the Big Bang, bro. Gotta go fast. Honestly, though, maybe. For all we know, that history is lost upon us and has been rewritten. So, there's more social control. If we found out that Sonic is actually Lord Jesus himself, how would that change how we view the world today? Have you done your Cobalion hunt yet, Sicarius Dracus? Alright, cool. I was gonna check myself, but I'm fairly sure it did come first. Oh, nice, bro. Congratulations on your hunt. Here, I'm gonna reset. I mean, I'm pretty sure, because, like, even in, like, the thing is, it's not like a, like, think of it this way. Just because Supersonic is clearly Super Saiyan, in my mind, like, I feel like it is. Like, it's an inspiration of it. That's not a bad thing. Like, even in, like I was talking about One Piece earlier, there's things in One Piece that are clearly, like, references or ripoffs of other, like, stereotypical tropes and such. And that's a good thing, because, like, it's kind of like redefining or like modernizing something. Like even like one of the main characters in the One Piece crew, like the Straw Hats, there's like this little reindeer character. His name's Chopper. His name, you don't really know his name, but his whole story is he's like a blue-nosed reindeer that like eats the human fruit, which makes him more human than... He's already an outcast because he has a blue nose. He's a reindeer, so he's clearly a reference to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But it's like, there's something actually like really cool about it. And it instantly, as a viewer, you get it. Like, you know, because we all know who Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is. We know his spiel. We know what the story is. So you can already understand, like, okay, he's an outcast. Instantly. And it doesn't like... You know, it's like clearly an inspiration of it. And there's like other characters that are kind of like, even just like caricatures of real life celebrities and such. Like there's like this character, you know, like Frankfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show. There's a character in the show or manga anime that is literally based off of that character. And in the Japanese like anime, the person who does the dub over in the Rocky Horror Picture Show for that character is actually the voice actor of the character in the anime. So it's like, it's really cool when you think about like culturally what that like means as like a show to like Japanese people, at least like on that level. And like imagine how like popular One Piece is outside of Japan, but like how much better it probably is in Japanese in Japan, just because like I don't know, I'm not gonna get into it, but it's like super cool to think about. It just blows my mind when I think about like how really cool it is. Take care, I like Todo. Hey, the purple dummy, welcome to the stream. Thank you, I appreciate that. Rudolph is the only reindeer worth knowing. Dude, I knew Dragon Ball came out before. I'm telling you. Sonic is like Dragon Ball for kid. So like, it's fine. You know? I mean, even like the rivalry, like Knuckles is kind of like Piccolo. You know, they're like a rival that eventually become friends. Then there's like Shadow, which I don't know anything really about the characters past like the original Genesis. Like I don't really even know. Yeah. Like Tails could be like Krillin in a way, maybe. I don't know. I'm not trying to make too many parallels. It's not really that important. And that's what I'm ultimately trying to say is like it's not a bad thing if it really was like it's like sometimes things just have to be blatant rip-offs. But like they can be and still be their own like thing. That's literally what I was just thinking too. That's so funny. But yeah, I just like... I don't know. Sonic. I feel like all kids like Sonic. Like if you give them the chance. I mean, the fact that someone could create a mascot that is that, you know, inspirational or whatever, is probably cutting it close. I probably shouldn't even check this. Alright, let me soft reset. I'm almost to... I have a sparkling level 3 all types going, so I'm getting close to my odds or whatever. I'm still under odds, but Dragon Ball. I remember when I was younger and like the TCG was first popular, like when it first, like during Pokemania. I remember going over to my friend's house, and I never even saw an episode of Dragon Ball Z. I remember seeing commercials for it on Cartoon Network for like Toonami and such back in the day, but my first couple episodes, like first episode or so I saw of the show was like during the Frieza saga, like around the time like towards when Namek is exploding and it's like Goku first Frieza. And I just remember thinking like, whoa, this is a cartoon, you know, like I was like, wow, this seems like very violent and like gritty. Like, I mean, those weren't the words I was probably thinking, but I was just kind of like captured, like almost like mesmerized by like the idea that this like medium could be used to portray this type of story in this way. Because like Saiyan Saga, Frieza Saga is probably like peak Dragon Ball Z. Like I'm a big fan of the Cell Saga as well, but I don't really watch. I've never really watched Super or Kai. I have watched some synopsis videos on them, and I think there's probably some interesting aspects to like those characters, like the gods, or whatever, like Beerus and all that. But again, I've never really watched it. But yeah, back in the day, we used to be like super into that stuff. Like me and my friends, like the power level scaling in the show, like. Wait, what happened? Wait, you can retract messages on YouTube? I didn't even know you could do that. That's actually good. What? You have that type of power as a viewer? Oh, that's all I could see is message retracted. Shadow was Eggman's grandfather's experiment on the Ark. Eggman's granddaughter, Maria, was Shadow's friend, and the government killed her, so that's why Shadow went bad. Oh. That sucks. That's like an interesting like trope in like almost like Japanese like anime and stuff too, or whatever, like something being created in a lab. Or like some type of like science. I mean, I guess it's like a trope in science fiction. I mean, even Pokemon has to be somewhat like Mewtwo has to be some sort of like inspiration off of Frieza. Like a little bit. Like it has to be. Like it almost just looks like it just reminds me of Frieza. Like something about growing up in that era too. Like I was just saying, like Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z were kind of like the same time period for a lot of Westerners, and yeah, it's like Mewtwo and Frieza are just like iconic. And it's like, I don't even get mad about it. I think it's like awesome. Like they both still feel like individual entities while still like, almost like, it almost seems like and something about it just kind of like sends a message design wise. Like even the Mega forms for sure, like especially Mega Mewtwo Y looks a lot like, it almost like embodies that Frieza-esque vibe more. It's pretty cool. I've been wanting to play through the new Final Fantasy remakes. Final Fantasy VII. I'm pretty sure they have a port to the Switch. At this point, there's definitely some Final Fantasy ports they've done over the years, which is pretty cool. Like Tactics is actually one of the better, like PlayStation era Final Fantasy games. It's a lot different than like the normal RPG, but dude, I love like the turn-based grid system fighting and stuff that they have in Tactics. It's such a fun game. And I was reading that the version that they made that's on the Switch, they kind of changed some things from the original. There's actually like a side mission that you can get Cloud Strife as one of your recruits, and you can get like the Buster Sword, which, you know, was in the original game, but in the original game, it was kind of like, if you didn't have his sword, he wasn't even really worth putting on your team. But I think they buffed Cloud, and I think they made it easier to get the sword, if I'm not mistaken, in this re-release. I know I keep forgetting to click on the counter. I'm trying my best. At least I'm getting my resets. That's really fun. That's fully voice act. For anyone who was not here earlier, I just want to show you something that spawned while I was doing this hunt. But I had to let it go because you know, there's no point catching it if I had the soft reset for my legendary anyways. That was like a couple hundred, maybe like 100 or so checks ago. Kind of makes me a little sad, I will admit. That would have been a cool one to catch. I was contemplating on just catching it, but then it's like, beyond just having to make a new donut, I have to like rescan for Cobalion as well, you know? Which just didn't seem worth the effort. So, while I didn't get to catch that Shelfa, I have a picture of it, which will just sit here on my memory, reminding me the sacrifices I've had to make. You haven't had Gimme Goal yet. Hopefully you get lucky with that. Have you gotten the fossil one? That's the one I'm looking for. I have a Sparkling Power 3 Rock, Alpha Power 2 donut. And once I get that area, I'm really hoping to get some shellfish from that. That's my hopes. Very nice. Congratulations on yours. Alright, I'm gonna reset now. Thanks again for hanging out with me a little bit. Let's go. Let's go. Everybody knows. Let's go. Let's go. Yo, let's go. Everybody knows. Have I done my rank this season? I actually did a little bit for the first time last night, and I got my Swamperdite, but I haven't done anything past that. I just did 3 battles to get that. Why you ask? I haven't built anything particularly for this rank season. I was just running in with Spritzy, Talonflame, and Absol, Mega Absol Z, which still held its ground fairly good, but everyone's running their like Kyogre, like Zeraora, like different things like that. So probably should try to run something a little more balanced, I guess, in the format. Oh, okay. You're just wondering. Fair enough. Hold on. Oops. Maybe I should make sure I'm more over here. I was trying to multitask. I guess the shiny isn't like... Yeah, so it's like more like blue and yellow. That's what I was thinking. Like the lighting... Yeah, I see, I see. It should be pretty clear when I see it. The dedication. The dedication. Yeah. I figured so. I just honestly haven't seen it in a minute. I know I have the shiny already in other games. But I feel like I use it very rarely. Like, I think I have it for Ultra League and Pokemon Go. Doo-doo. Yeah, I'm using a level 4 donut. That's why this always goes so fast. But it's sparkling all types level 3, I mean. I'd rather take the extra rolls on my shiny as opposed to the time. I don't mind continuously soft resetting. I've still been getting a decent amount of checks, and clearly, if I can see a Shelfa Riolu just randomly spawn in, I'm doing something right. That would have been such a cool one to get. Because I don't actually have a Shelfa Lucario. I'm going to check one more time before I soft reset. This is kind of cutting it close. I probably shouldn't even gamble it. Just in case I need to actually get into some sort of fight to catch this. Alright. This is the time. This is the way. This is the place for the shiny. Hey Shadow Milk, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Alright. So if you're wondering, I'm getting spawned in at that spot because there was a guaranteed Machoke. I'm assuming it was a guaranteed shiny because this is sparkling level 3. And whenever I caught it, it saved. Which is fine. Alright, let's see. Let me try to get in a few checks here. It feels like I get around 9 or 10 checks before the donut runs out. Awesome. Have you seen this hunt yet in Pokemon ZA? I just happened to scan this last night when I was streaming briefly. So that kind of led me for this hunt. No, the guaranteed shiny wouldn't apply to the legendary because it's like the first, it has to be within the spawn radius of where you are. I mean, I assume the Machoke that I caught was a guaranteed shiny. Just because of usually there's like a catch a shiny quest. But then again, it could have just been luck. I have no idea, actually. But I feel like when I did the Terrakion, I found a Garganacl shiny that in that zone as well. Like at the very beginning. Like it seems like, I feel like that's what I remember. You saw little clips of it in shorts. That's cool. Wait, what? No. The lighting's tricking me. You're hunting Zone 20 and Eevee in Hyperspace on Switch 2. And sword hunting for Eevee. Oh, that's pretty cool. Good luck on your hunts. Thank you for the sub. Welcome to the Sass Squad, friend. ESM Gaming. You're hunting for Virizion right now? Good luck on your hunt as well. The only one I've done aside this is Terrakion. So I'm hoping that I can get this today. I got lucky with that scan. Thank you. Yeah, the lighting always does that for me. Even when I know what the shiny looks like, I always feel like until I see it for the first time, I'm always playing tricks on myself. Especially in Scarlet and Violet shiny hunting, when there's really no confirmation aside engaging the battle. That one was pretty bad for me. Definitely a lot of eye squinting with that game. But that's what's so nice about this game, though. Like, I actually got a Shelfa Gimme Goal a couple streams ago. I was lucky enough to get a Gimme Goal scan. And I had a Ghost, I think level 3. Or I think it was. I don't remember. It was like something Alpha with, like, maybe Alpha 1, Ghost 3. And I was very fortunate because it was only like 3 resets in my guaranteed spawn. Yeah, I think it was level 3 Ghost because I had guaranteed shiny quest. The third one was the Shelfa, and I was like, and I remember when the Gimme Goal came out in the raids, like that was the only way you can get it as a shiny. Like that was such a, and like there was really no indicator really aside, like I don't think there was even sparkles in the raid if I remember correctly. I did see, if you play Pokemon Go, I think there's actually an event coming up this month where for the first time you can actually get shiny Gimme Goal via that like pouch that they have as an item. You feeling like doing Dynamax adventures? That sounds cool, actually. I was actually, like, I feel like I'd be down to revisit more Dynamax adventures, like, in, like, different streams. Because there's some shinies, like, via that I still would like to get. The only one I've ever got that's a legendary, well, technically it's not even a legendary, it's the Ultra Beast. I got, Nihilego. I didn't do a lot of those Dynamax adventures, but when I finally started to want to do them, that was the first one I got. It took some time to get it. I've got some other shinies along the way, but there's definitely a bunch I want to get via that You got Shiny Mewtwo on second try. Yo, that's amazing. That's amazing luck. Congratulations. That's also one of the cooler shinies to have. I've tried to do the Zygarde one, and it always feels so hard to beat. Unless you have like a lot of people who know what they're doing, and you get lucky with like ice Pokemon. So you can just kind of spam ice moves the entire fight. With that quad weakness. Yeah, shiny Zygarde for sure. Now that there's like a Mega, I was actually, when I was playing the few rank battles actually that I did last night, someone was running Zygarde, and it was like absurd. Like, it was just like, wow. This thing is gonna be broke if they allow people to use it in competitive, like VGC, which I imagine you will be able to in a restricted format. I mean, granted, in battle, you have to kind of be brought below 50% health to even activate complete form to be able to Mega. But maybe that's like the way to balance it. And I bet you there's going to be a way people figure out how to set it up where they can, like, you know, heal their partner, like with a Moongus, like Pollen Puff or something. You just got bodied. Raikou does have a pretty cool shiny. Oh, but you just get bodied, yeah, by the Zygarde. Yeah, same, that's what yeah. It's one of the harder fights for Dynamax Adventure. I think Ultra Beast are probably some of the easier fights. That's why Nihilego, I felt like, was obtainable. Because we didn't have much issue completing it. So it gave us more odds at rolling for the shiny. That's one of the benefits, I'd say, probably being an active Pokemon Go player. There's a lot of like Pokemon that I've obtained through Go that are really hard to obtain via the main series games or exclusive behind paywalls or events. Like, for example, there's actually a Kalos tour ticket that's coming up for like $10 in Pokemon Go, and I've actively tried not to spend money on the game. I can't even remember really the last time I spent money on the game. But I'm probably gonna buy this ticket because at the end of the research you get shiny Diancie, which I think has only been released as a mystery gift in Japan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete this event, catch it in Pokemon Go, and then I'm just going to transfer my shiny Diancie to Pokemon Home. So I have a shiny Diancie pretty much that I can use in all my main series games. That's pretty much what I did with shiny Mew, shiny Jirachi. I think there's a couple I haven't transferred yet, but yeah, like shiny Shaman, I think. I don't know if I've transferred it yet. I might have it in Go still. Ads for that knockoff mobile cheap version of Pokemon? Wait, which... I don't know if I know which one you're talking about. Is it like a Monster Hunter? Monster collection game? Bum, bum, bum. It's interesting how a lot of the ads for mobile games are always deceptive. Like, they're not even what the game is. In a way, too, like, it's weird because the thing that you see in the ads, like, you know, I could see that being a fun game to play. That could be interesting. But then you actually look at the game and it's nothing like what's being advertised. It's like the thing you're looking at is actually like a small, tiny mini game inside of the game. And it's like, what? How's that legal to promote something on that level? I remember how controversial it was to even like put video game footage in a commercial that wasn't the actual video game footage. Like, if it was just like some cinematic to look cool, but it wasn't actually what the game was. I don't even think it was like allowed or whatever. Yo, what's up, Cedric? What do you need help with? They're looking for someone to trade them a power anklet and lens and sword and shield. They said they will give you a shiny Ditto in return. If there's anyone that wants to take him up on that, feel free. I'm not... I can't, or I'm not going to be able to help, unfortunately, because I'm going to focus on the hunt. But someone else could totally help you out. If someone wants a shiny Ditto... Cedric in the chat is looking for a power anklet and power lens. Those items that for EV training and breeding. I feel like those are pretty accessible. It's a pretty good deal, honestly, if you want a shiny Ditto. It's up to the chat, though. So far, no shiny up here for me. At least I haven't found another shiny on this end. I mean, I don't know if it would... The shiny Ditto is also in a different language, so you can use it for Masuda breeding. He's saying. I know some other people are shiny hunting right now, so I don't really know if they're like in a position where they're like actively able to trade. Alright, I'm gonna do like another check or two before I soft reset here. Alright, let me soft reset. Ay, ay, ay. Doesn't seem like there's anyone interested at the moment. Ay, ay, ay. This isn't that bad. I mean, I still am technically under odds. All things considered. It would be considered lucky to find it. That Shelfa Real just weighs on my mind. How's it doing? Lost in time and space. Will it ever meet the friendship requirement to evolve? Nothing. Nothing here to see. Are you trying to do that trade with Cedric Shadow? Oh, excuse me. Ugh. see. Oh, for the shiny alpha Riolu. Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, I almost took that when it popped up earlier. I legitimately almost just caught that and just said, I'll just try again with Cobalion down the line, but for how random everything is between the donuts and getting these scans, pretty much just had to accept that I had to let it go. That's right, you're in Dynamax adventure right now, doing Raikou. Raikou. I'll check a couple more times before I Sassifrass it. Alright, last time before I Sassifrass it. I need to pay attention too, because there's been times where I like keep going till the donut runs out, and if I find it then it's gonna hurt just to see it. Hopefully I can just catch it immediately with an Ultra Ball. I don't really have a lot of wiggle room. I'm sure I'll eventually catch it if I just save in front of it. Hopefully I find it sooner than later. When I end up finding it, that way I have a little bit of time. Maybe I will try a different ball if I have that space. But as of right now, I'm probably just going to go for the Ultra Ball. I'm not going to do anything fancy here. That's what I did with Terrakion. But yeah, whenever I threw my first Ultra Ball at Terrakion, it automatically caught it, so that was my experience. Is Jolteon one of your options for your Dynamax? Excuse me. Cool. Alright. This has definitely been a grind so far. This has been right. $4.31. I wonder what this surface would feel like to actually walk on. It almost looks like it's ice. Or like very like marbly. Like you just slide around on it. Like I could like so confidently like run through it. And like look, I'm like literally floating in space here. Lost the Jolteon. Oh no. Not the Jolteon. Another one. Just a regular old Cobalion. Also, like, I'm kind of at a lower level than this Cobalion, so it's definitely going to be a tricky one to catch, I feel like. You're going to alternate between Raikou and Mesprit. Good luck. Alright, this is going to be my last check before I soft reset. For I soft reset. Gotta soft reset. For you soft. Thank you, I really need the luck for sure. For anyone who cares, I have a song coming out on Tuesday. I make music. Or I've been a musician for a while, but I actually got into producing a couple years ago. So I started like putting out some solo albums, trying to learn producing along the way. I feel like I've gotten pretty decent, but it's like a psychedelic rock, kind of like ska punk kind of song. It's called Gas Station Weed. Inspired by being back in Pennsylvania for a bit. There's like this phenomena called like, or I guess they like sell knockoff like weed at these gas stations and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of like a song about, it's just like a song. It's supposed to sound like kind of like trippy, psychedelic. It's heavier, pretty groovy, honestly. It's like kind of like a punk song in a way, but very groovy. And I have like this really cool experimental breakdown that's kind of inspired by like Miles Davis Bitches Brew, like the kind of like more avant-garde jazz. Because I wrote horn parts for it. Thanks, yo, appreciate that. I mean, it's just a hobby, you know. But it's like a fun creative outlet. I mean, I could show you the song, I guess, but it will be live Tuesday everywhere. Like anywhere you listen to music on YouTube. Gas Station Weed by Rob Sassy. If you want to check it out. It's pretty much a little teaser to my third album I've been working on. I did play it live at an open mic like a month or so ago. People definitely, I mean, people came up to me and said they liked it. Someone said it sounded like King Cruel to them. Someone else told me it reminded them of King Crimson, which I thought was like crazy. I'm like, whoa. These are not like what I would expect someone to tell me my music sounded like. Because if you know me, or if you've ever like, I mean like, I love ska and like punk music. Like my old band from like a couple decades ago, we were like a ska punk band when I was like young. Like around like 16 to 20 something, I played in this band in Pittsburgh. And we did a lot of shows and stuff. We even played a couple festivals. Like one in West Virginia. I actually have a flyer for it. It was called like Willy Wonka and the Bass Factory. I should find it and share it, but yeah, like I don't know, I was just doing some open mics just to promote some of my music. It's like always interesting to me how people have told me I sound like old Modest Mouse and such like that. I'm like, dude, that's so wild. I mean, I like these bands, but it's just not what I would think someone would describe. Because when I'm thinking of my inspirations of why I'm making these songs at times, it's like hyper specific genres, and I guess like my interpretation of them just comes off a lot different. I mean, that's really all art and music really is. Like, look, I found a little random shiny there. Just not the right one. Well, I'm definitely finding shinies. Alright, let me soft reset. Look at this. I just need to bring this up because I saw this earlier and it's okay. I would have actually loved to have that. That's why I'm a little bummed about it. Yeah, I'm not gonna catch it just because it'll save there and mess up the hunt. So I'll just let it be lost to time. Let's see. Come on. Alright. Still under odds. No Eevee spawn, but there was 2 Farfetch and a Patrat. The sign said, I know the feeling for sure. I feel like whenever you start targeting a shiny, that's when the resets start ramping up. Because if you're just kind of catching whatever, like say you just go in there and you're like, I have no expectations, but I want a shiny of some sort. You're gonna find something. You're gonna be happy with it. I'm sorry if I accidentally pressed that up twice, but there's many times I didn't even click the counter up. It balances out, like, probability, I feel like. The more you play these games, you just start to realize, you know, you have your own personalized bell curve of hunts. For me so far in this game, the most brutal hunt has been my Alpha Whirlipede hunt. Which, you know, as you can see, I'm still rocking Scolipede on my team to this day. It's like the main one I wanted in the game. But, it's like a mixture of, like, are you doing it out of necessity, or did you actually want the shiny too? Like, of course, if I'm gonna, like, a legendary in this situation, I might as well shiny hunt it. But there's so many Pokemon games where I've just caught a Pokemon that's static, I could reset for shiny, but I just caught it instead of trying to get a shiny of it. I didn't want to be bothered with resetting all that time. Or maybe I soft reset purely to get like 0 attack and or like a special attacker or something. The best part is that the grind is done. You got your EVs already? Right. You have one that's a Sylveon now, that's cool. I wish I took advantage of that one like alpha exploit in Area 20. I wish I took advantage of that more when it was available. I only did it a couple times. Seemed like a jackpot for Shalfa hunting. That makes sense. They definitely keep you busy as an Eevee Evolution fan. Yeah, I understand. It's a little tricky. Like it was definitely sometimes stuff like that. It's a little intimidating to even want to try, because it just feels like, oh, there's all these steps and I'm gonna mess it up. But once you do it, at least for me, I'm like a more of a hands-on type of learner. Like I need to physically be able to see something or like do it myself to truly grasp it. So once I did it myself the first time, I was like, oh wow, that's actually like way easier than I thought. It is a little annoying though, because sometimes the issue is actually the spawns you get in, because you have to be able to bring them all so close to the gate and then save. And if you get ranged attackers or like Pokemon that use a lot of like status moves, it's so annoying to try to group them. There's probably even like, I think I did one stream doing a hunt that way, and at the very beginning I legitimately was like freaking out because of like how frustrating it felt to get things to work. So there's like video evidence of me having emotion. It's so funny because my daughter, she's turning 6 here soon, but I more recently showed her some of my like shiny Pokemon reactions, and she's like never seen me so excited before. She's just like, Dad really likes shiny Pokemon, because I typically don't really react that like I don't have such, I don't know, over the top reactions. I just thought it was hilarious, like, from her perception of me. Yeah, she is pretty adorable. She likes Pokemon herself. I try not to force stuff on them, but I feel like all kids just like Pokemon. You know? Like, her, one of her aunt's friends, like, they, like, had Pokemon cards at her mom's place, and, like, it's kind of like seeing stuff like that when you're a kid. You always think stuff like that's really cool, I feel like. And then you just want to learn about all the different Pokemon. I can only imagine what it's like. I have no idea. Because you can just become a Pokemon fan today, and there's just so much. It's like, maybe even overwhelming, I don't know. Who truly knows? I wonder if there will be a great downfall of Pokemon. Because as of right now, I feel like it's like, you know, people can say it's like you're shelling out money for these games or whatever. I could see the argument. Like, obviously, like, the game's not meant for everyone. But I don't know, I feel like it still hasn't reached like that point where it's like really just the point of no return. Like some franchises that have like experienced that over the years. Like I feel like Star Wars is definitely a great example of this, where it's just kind of like really just not even necessarily like the things that are introduced in these like shows. It's more like the, I don't know, lack of cohesion of things. Wait, hold on. The cards are becoming like extinct. Yes, sir, I am. I am back and forth. You mean because of like scalpers and such? Like the cards are harder to obtain? Is that what you mean? Like it's becoming more of like a... I've been seeing that as like someone who doesn't really collect or play the TCG. It seems like Pokemon cards are more viewed as like an investment than just like the game itself. Like there's people that play the game, there's people that maybe get cards because they like Pokemon. And then there's like this whole other crowd of people that are looking at ways to profit off of the cards, whether it be reselling them, scalping it, you know, like scalping, reselling, or just like pulling cards and then like getting them graded. I've gotten some promo cards from doing regional tournaments. I don't even know if they're worth anything. Yeah, I've seen those scalper videos. Yeah, it is sad for the kids, for sure. I don't know. TCG games. Speaking of TCG, something that was like kind of fascinating to me that I wasn't really paying attention to until more recently, because it kind of like slipped out of my like thoughts a little bit. There's this YouTuber, what's his name? A Drive. He has this TCG called Alestrals. And like I fondly remember this dude was like well on his way to like 1 million subs on YouTube. Because I was subscribed to him and he used to like post a lot of Pokemon content. But I guess like, I mean, probably being a dad and like he started making this new game. And I've noticed that like a lot of his sub count has actually gone backwards. Like he was like really close to 1 million and then he started like posting less of Pokemon stuff and he started pushing his TCG game Alestrals a lot. And it just felt like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's like very interesting. Like, it's kind of just like the sad reality of like making content. I mean, realistically, it's like you kind of have to like stay in your lane. What are the choices? Actually, I have no idea. He made some choices too. I have no idea actually. In Pokerev, his card packs, like the fish ones. Wait, I've heard. I don't really know much about Pokerev. But yeah, I think it's interesting. You know, like I mentioned, like I have a song coming out. I don't really expect people who watch my Pokemon content to support my music or my animation or anything like that. But like, if coincidentally there's a crossover, that's great. You know, that's cool. But like, it feels like every time I'd watch an A-Drive video, I started watching his like leaks videos. It just feels like every video he has to like, I mean, I don't have a problem with it necessarily. I kind of empathize with the dude. Like, I'm still sub to him. I watch his videos. I try to watch them to the end, give him the watch time, get him back in the algorithm a little bit. But I don't know. Maybe there is a reason I shouldn't, and I have no idea. But I just thought it was interesting how like someone, you know, to someone like him, it doesn't matter probably realistically. Like it's just numbers. Like at the end of the day, it's like he has a family. You know, priorities. And honestly, being able to make something and put it out there takes a lot of courage, and I will always give props to people that are entrepreneurs trying to do something different, you know, within the scope of things. But hold on, let me read what I need to know. Give me the tea, is what the kids say, or the old women watching drama. Let me read this. He did some stuff that was kind of scalper-like behavior, and then when people called him out on he used his kids as cover, saying that this was how he provides for them. But this was right after some Twitch revenue got leaked, and he was making 500K just from Twitch alone. So it was a weird way to use his kids to justify it. He was doing some scalper behavior. Was it with the TCG game or was it with his own game? That's kind of fascinating. I didn't know any of that. But I'm not really like a TCG person in general, so I probably would never have known this. Oh look, random shiny Lucario that I have to stare at this entire time now. Dang, I should just catch the Lucario, since I'm so close. If it takes too long, I'm not going to catch it. Alright, so that'll save me there now. Screw it. I'm going to leave here full of shinies. I mean, that's cool. Something. So far I've gotten a Machoke and a Lucario. It was a McDonald's TCG release. He went around buying hundreds of Happy Meals to get the cards. Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. I remember when that was a thing. With like the starters, right? I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Well, the thing is, like, the alpha, when I found it, it was too far in the timer. From what I recall. Like, it didn't make sense to try to catch it. But that was already, like, that barely shaved off any time. Like, if anything, I lost maybe, like, less than a minute of time on my hunt. You know? And, it was a guaranteed shiny at the beginning. I mean, not guaranteed, but that's the difference. Like, if I caught this Shelfa, I probably would have only been able to do, like, 3 or 4 or less checks every time my soft reset, which would have been maddening after a while. But yeah, I feel you. I see you judging me. I see you judging me there. It's okay. I can still keep you as my top-rated mod. I need someone to keep me in check. Humble my ass once in a while. Because now I'm sitting here wondering, was it all a lie? Was this all just a lie? I just like psyop myself. Maybe I did have time. Maybe there was another path. But all I saw was not a shiny Cobalion. It's true. You got that common rare Pikachu. Oh, that's cool. I had a bunch of those Ancient Mew from the movie release. I think it was the first movie. I'm pretty sure I still have them all somewhere. Alright, let me soft reset. Oh gosh. I'm almost getting to the odds. The odd ones out. Lucario. See, look at that. It's like perfect. It like brought me right in. Thanks, Lucario. Don't mention it. I'm just a Sonic knockoff plus Anubis. Thank you, Sonic, for the one. Please. Finding shiny everything else except this thing. I am sad about the Shelfa. I will think about it. If I rewatch, I'm gonna rewatch that footage later and probably realize, like, oh, maybe I could have got this. I could have compromised. Maybe I should have. But I feel like it spawned, like, it's way too late. Yeah, I feel that too. Like, the random saves are a little annoying. I want control, Doctor. I want control on the rules. These are all the rules. You gotta break them. You gotta break the rules. Who says it's a ghost? It just lives in an alternate timeline. It's getting its first job right now. It believes in college. It's going to school for fighting type studies. Steel type studies. How to make the best alloy. Burn your friends. Cut out anyone in your life who doesn't think the same as you. Step 1. It's like so funny. People do that these days. Don't look exactly the same. Newsflash. People watch too many like Disney movies and like I feel like Star Wars is kind of ruined. Not the original, like the new ones. Like I love Andor, but I feel like some people watched Andor and didn't understand the messaging in it. Let's keep on going. This is my movie though, where exactly at 5:25 encounters Shiny Cobalion arrives, or Star Roll. Yeah, maybe like I altered like something. Like I just completely, I mean, well, maybe it's peaceful now, it's resting. They call it the internal rest, or the big sleep, some would call it. You should be thanking me. He won't be hungry no more. I'm sorry. It's like that shiny Riolu will never be hungry again, and that food that it would have eaten can go to someone else. Don't you see the good I've done? I'm saving the world. Be like me. Put yourself first. Real though, like, you should consider. I just want you to shine. Why is this suck crying? He wishes he could sleep again. A tragic life, bro. Like, how do you come up with this? I like it. I like the internal despair that I've put this shiny through, which arguably could have been worse if I caught it sitting in my box forever. Is this gonna be standing next to my Cobalion? Why couldn't it be good enough for you? And I will say, I don't know. George. He went that way. And that will be that. Did you feel that breeze? Or like, did you hear that? And Giratina shows up like, come to the darkness, and like pulls it down into the pits of hell. This is what happens to the abandoned souls. We put them to work in the distortion realm. Then Vola is there, there's like, they cut me from the DLC. I'll get them next time. They just have like a DLC mission where Volo comes back, but he goes to the museum to get his like his whole goal is to get his clothes back. That's like the whole mission. Like, holy crap, this is lore building. I've traveled through time and I can't find threads like those. And that's why, and we find out that's why he's actually evil. Like, he just wanted to be comfortable. Isn't that what everyone wants? Like, I'd be evil if I couldn't be comfortable. Sure. I get it. Very relatable. You're forcing me to brush my hair with a comb? That is tyranny on the highest level. The one who's in my box is like the devil incarnate himself, like, fool! Fool, we tempted your greed and your gluttony. You don't even want this shiny. You don't even whack it to furry porn. How could you care about my mere existence? But, Lucario. Alright. You can't truly be a Lucario fan without Googling once. At least once you have been curious what all the hubbub was about. I've seen your favorites on DeviantArt. You can't hide. You got those public. Sonic is like the gateway to furrydom. Which is okay, you know. There's nothing against furries. quite okay. And they're like, wow, that's so funny. That's hilarious. Or what if, hear me out. Hear me out. The Shelfa morphed through time and space to become the regular shiny Lucario. So, in a way, it's like I got tricked. I caught what I thought at first was just a mere winky dink. Ends up having lore that was foreshadowed in chapter 2. Upon rereading this passage, you will be blown away by all the context clues that were there. Even when I was saying, I don't even know, but y'all know. You can reshape the narrative all you want. But only the lies I spew over and over will be remembered. And those will be the truth at the end of the day. So buckle up, kids. The ultimate lie on the stream is that this is the accurate encounter number. Oh no, I'm getting close to the odds. Oh no. Reality seeps in. I also feel like lunch is seeping in too. I mean, let's just be real. I've destroyed my own life. I can only truly know that. That's factual. I've let down Shelfa Riolu, which is just the ultimate failure. And I'll have to really think about what I've done here today. How could I have been so callous and cold? How? 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 Riolu. Come back, Riolu. They should have just made it so you can get alpha legendaries. Like, why not? I want a giant Cobalion. I mean, no one to ask me. Alright. Maybe it's like a coding thing. Not all Pokemon are created equal. Excuse me. I wonder how many I should go before I take a break from my sanity. Get some food. What is an appropriate number? Back and forth, I'm back and forth, I'm back and forth. I'm just back and forth, back to the fourth. To the fourth, I'm moving up. 1K, what the? I would hope I have it by then. Dude, the lighting tricks me. I swear that looked like blue and yellow. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow. Don't tell me when to 511 up to the sun. If I go to 1K and I don't get it, I will be sad. I will think of that Riolu. You know, as time goes further, we can look at history different each moment and day. It can change the further we get away from the moment. How do we view it? It's a roller coaster. I've never had to struggle with such acceptance live on my stream. And I've done some heinous things live on my stream. I've committed war crimes live on the computer. You're not shiny, you're just a regular. You're not gonna spawn in her. You're not gonna spawn in here. Why don't you spawn in as a shiny? Don't waste my time. Almost 2 odds over mine. Alright, this will be my last check. For a soft reset. Why can't you shine? Whoa! Yep. Yep, yep. Yepity, yep, yep. Yep, 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 yep. It's just the Cobalion. Where'd you run? Cobalion. Where did he run? Cobalion. Back and forth in this zone. Wishing I could own shiny Cobalion, but it will not spawn. So on and on I run in my dreams, wishing these are the shinies I've seen. Pending, I might actually have to make this a 2-parter. And I believe how much I am actually shocked how much time has gone by. It has not felt that long. But yeah, I've just been running around here for hours. Hours and hours. I've been running hours. I cannot tell. See, like, I keep thinking it's shiny. Alright. One more check for now. I'll do a couple more resets just because still I think under odds technically. Maybe like 2 more resets and maybe I'll take a break for a little bit. We'll see. Oh, excuse me. Come on. Could always be the time. This could be my moment. You're not the one. You're still not shiny. Number 1. I just rhymed 1 and 1. I break the rule. These are the times I remember, the times I forget. Rolling in a tunnel. My best bet. I swear that looks like it could be a shiny, but no. Always getting tricked. Yeah, I think I'll do one more reset after this one. And then I'll probably just take a break for a bit. Here I go. Whoa. 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 Cobalion. What drugs are you on? Cobalion. When you're not gonna shine. Picking up crime, Cobalion. Oh, Cobalion. What planet are you from? Cobalion. Oh. Excuse me. Alright, yeah, this will be my last reset for now. And then I'll resume this either later today or tomorrow. Depending on what I gotta get done here. I just can't spend... I've already spent a decent amount of time today doing this. Cobalion, there you go. Zoning out. Cobalion. What's it all about? Be Cobalion. Alright. Getting close to that odds. Six or 560, excuse me. $561 is the lunchtime. Lunchtime, what a crime, you gotta eat something real fine for your tummy that makes you say yummy. For lunch, for lunch, for lunch. You'll have 4 lunches this week. Alright. Maybe 1 or 2 more checks before the break. Alright. This will be my last check. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's where I'm going to end today's stream. 565 checks in theory. No shiny Cobalion just yet. But with that being said, I'll be back either later tonight or tomorrow to continue hunting. And with that being said, the Sass Squad's getting stronger each and every day. You have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're tuning in. I will catch you in the next one. Take care. Peace out for now. Let me make sure I X out of that. Peace.